Story 1. Don't Google yourself. Why? Because you may not like what you find. One day, I was bored and decided to search for my own name on Google. I have quite a rare name, so I didn't expect to find many results. Imagine how surprised I was when I came across a website that had my full name in the domain. www.myname.com. When I clicked the link, it brought me to a message board. I looked at the profile of the website owner and found out that the person was the same age as me and had the same hobbies and interests. There weren't any posts on the message board, but I was intrigued, so I saved it in my favorites. It was about a month later when I went back to the website. This time, it had more content. There were some diary entries, mostly random things like the weather was nice today or I'm so bored in work. Things of that nature. However, as time went on, I began to notice more and more coincidences. The person lived in the same city as I did. It struck me as rather strange that two people with the exact same rare name would be living in the same city at the same time. At one point, I noticed that the contents of the diary were quite similar to my own life. One day, I went to a baseball game, and when I checked the website that evening, I found that the owner of the site had gone to the same ball game. At first, I didn't think much of it. After all, tens of thousands of people in the city supported the same baseball team. It began to seem like much more than a simple coincidence. Whenever I checked the website, I would notice little biographical details that seemed too close for comfort. For example, the owner mentioned their pet dog, and the dog's name was the same as the dog I had when I was a child. The website owner posted a picture of their car. It was the same model of car I had been driving when I was in college. They talked about eating at a certain restaurant. It was the same restaurant I had gone to all the time when I was working at my previous job. One day, when I looked at the message board, people had written messages to the owner saying happy birthday. That day, it was my birthday as well. I decided to write on the message board for the first time, just out of curiosity. I was going to wish the owner a happy birthday and tell them we had the same name. However, when I tried to write something, I realized that there was nowhere to type your message. It wasn't a message board at all, just a static page. That's odd, I thought to myself. In other words, whoever owned the website had gone to a lot of trouble to make it seem as if it was an interactive site, as if there were other people posting on it, when in actual fact, all the content must have been created by the owner. Why on earth would someone do that? I wondered. I decided to send an email to the owner. It read, "Hi there. Believe it or not, we both share the same name. Nice to meet you." It was just a friendly email. The next day, when I tried to look at the website, I discovered that it was gone. It seemed like it had been deleted. Then, I opened my mailbox. There was one reply. When I looked at it, a chill ran down my spine. It just read, "Found you." Story 2. Whatever that thing is, I believe it just wants what you have. It wants to exist, but it has one major problem. It either does not have any identity or it is unaware of its own, therefore, it feels the need to assume yours. A typical freaking parasite. It does not matter which medium it uses. It can strike anywhere, anytime and anyhow, therefore, to help you with awareness and prevention, here are some of the methods I have witnessed it use. A prepaid call or SMS coming from your own number and on your own mobile phone or landline, a video or audio call or message or post coming from your own profile regardless of the social media application used, even this one, a call on the intercom of your own apartment, an email from your own email address, a letter mysteriously delivered at your address with your own name as the expediter, and even mail pigeons landing near your windows with rolled papers around their necks. I believe that the last method, even though rare, proves the antiquity of that entity, and please, if you intend to upvote, downvote or comment on this post, verify and ensure that the poster is not your own username. There is no concrete profile that can be established when it comes to its victims, as it does not discriminate between you or your 9-year-old little brother or daughter with a cell phone or tablet. Once it targets you, it contacts you, and if it gets your response, you disappear within a certain amount of time, never to be seen again. How do you know all that? You might be wondering. Look, I want you to know that I am not very proud of what I am about to reveal concerning myself. Know that out there, some people with tremendous financial means, influence and power, do not have your best interest at heart, if they have one that is. Unfortunately, I happen to work for them at some point in my life and witness the extent of cruelty they are willing to reach in the name of progress, so please understand that I cannot mention names. Among the many atrocities they managed to lay their hands on, is that entity they chose to name Kevin, a name it never responded to. Like I mentioned earlier, it seems to lack any identity of its own, and does not have any appearance whatsoever until it assumes the one of its most recent victim for a period of 34 minutes at most. Since I never worked on the field, I have no idea how those evil people keep track of that thing, after deliberately releasing it out there for their research purposes, but I chose to risk my safety if it can save at least one life, even just one. I made that decision the day I saw that report. There is one report of an analysis, video call hacked and included, that I will never erase from my mind. On a Saturday afternoon, while at work, an innocent mom of two received a video call from herself that she unfortunately picked up. The guys from the IT had hacked her phone screen and her front camera, thus allowing us to see the concerned look on the innocent mother's face. The phone screen was entirely black until she said the usual hello, thus providing the entity with what it always seeks, a response. At that moment, the sound came on, and movements could be observed from the screen as if the caller was walking. Soon, voices of an adult woman greeting people, a teenage boy asking his mom where her car was, and an enthusiastic young girl, followed. After a few seconds, the entity revealed itself as her doppelganger, standing in front of her house, smiling maliciously to the camera, with her own kids playing in the background. Crushed with terror, fear and disbelief, the mother muttered a simple, who unable to complete her question, before screaming the name of her children in an indescribable distress, and in vain. Her car was later found abandoned in the middle of a road leading to her address with no trace of her, as the last clues she left behind were frantic calls to one of her neighbors, her son, and the police. No strange call was found in any history on her phone, probably erased by the IT guys, or the entity itself. Even those evil people are not immune to that strange being, and to be honest with you, neither them nor myself know of any defensive mean against that entity in case of even an involuntary response. Prevention is the only way I know to avoid its deadly grasp. I sometimes hear knocks on my front door at various times of random days, and since it has already proved that it is not bound to electronics, I avoid any verbal response and simply open the door. Often, it is really a human being, a delivery person, an acquaintance, a family member, or a friend, but sometimes, there is nobody at the door, or maybe nobody that I can see.